Very durable chin, and still.
One Fight Night 46 recap. Tawanchai defeats Superbon via unanimous decision to retain his Muay Thai world title. Nong-O gets knocked out by Carrillo. Tawanchai avenges his defeat to Laziri and bangs him out. Seksan defeats Daz by split decision. Overall, another solid event by one championship. But my bottom line is Muay Thai in 4oz gloves is absolutely outrageous. To get the party started, the prelim saw 4 knockouts in 6 fights, 2 in the opening round. My boy Craig Coakley, shout out to Craig Coakley from Dublin in Ireland. He got stopped early with a body shot and I was gutted to see it. Craig is a really good fighter. With that being his debut, it was obviously going to be a massive disappointment for him, but I'm sure there's plenty more in the tank for that lad. He's a really good fighter and a lot of fun to watch. He will definitely be back stronger. Well, the first fight of the whole card featured an insane knockout and it kind of set the tone for the event. Suryanlek versus Yodskitara. Excuse my butchering of the Thai names. You can see straight away the difference the 4oz gloves make. These boys are looking to land hands and elbows, get a finish and secure themselves a bonus, and this fight was no different. Let's go on a little side mission and look into the overall ratio of knockouts on one Muay Thai event. This card saw 6 knockouts in 11 fights. That's more than a 50% knockout ratio. And then the event before had 9 Muay Thai fights with 5 knockouts. And then the card before that, 8 fights. I think one of them was kickboxing, with 7 knockouts. And the only fight that went the distance was an absolutely mental matchup between Smoking Joe Natowit and Luke the Chef. These guys all want pain. Whilst watching One Fight Night 46, I became consciously aware of how much these guys are chasing finishes. Even when fighters lose, if they show enough courage and fight with honour, they get a bonus. I like that, I'm a fan of it. People should get paid. People clearly need to get paid, especially when they're putting their health on the line. But I'm not a fan of strikers taking unnecessary smacks repeatedly to please Caesar and get a bonus of about 7,000 Great British pounds. That ain't doing a whole lot for these fighters once they decide to hang up the gloves. Now, the main event was a real pleasure to watch. That was chef's kiss, and that's what it's all about. 2 elite strikers, 2 real technicians fighting with skill, technique, whilst remaining exciting. Of course, there's still an element of danger. You're aware that both men can knock each other out. They're trying to knock each other out. They are trying to get a finish, but they're not sacrificing everything else just to get a knockout. And that's what it feels like is happening with a lot of the fights in one Friday Fight Nights and one Muay Thai in the 4oz overall. Bonuses are great, they're fun. It's nice to see someone get rewarded for their bravery, but I think just pay the men anyway. Like seeing guys literally come to tears after they've lost the fight just because they're getting a bonus. They're eagerly waiting Mitch Chilson to come over and give them that line of he's giving you 350,000 baht, which again, it's 7,000 quid. It's not like the 50,000 ones, which there seems to be some sort of difference between the One Fight Nights, the Friday fights that happen in Lumpinee Stadium, and the one championship events that happen in like Singapore or like the bigger events. I don't know. This was still a pay-per-view event. I paid 20 British pounds to watch it, so please give them 50 grand or whatever, consider deserving of a bonus, because these guys are putting it out there. As I've gotten older and I guess wiser, more mature, arguably, I've developed a greater appreciation for the art. As a former competitor, I know how hard it is to actually do it. I know how hard this game is, and I have fought in the 4oz gloves. I was an OG fighting in John Wayne Parr's cage Muay Thai. Fortunately, yes, I did get finished, but let's not go too deep into that one. One of my only knockout losses. I hate you, John Wayne Parr, for making me do that for about $1,000. And as I've gotten older, I've become more aware of the long-term effect of taking repeated blows to the dome. Yes, I know as a fighter, you know what you've signed up for, but a good coach will always be mindful that there is a life after fighting, and he'll be telling his guys to, you know, proceed with caution, to fight sensibly, as one day you might still want to remember your favourite colour. Tawanchai put on a masterclass and it was razor close. I was really impressed with Superbon's ability to predict some of the strikes from Tawanchai. The amount of tricks both men were pulling off, the feints, the last minute adjustments in order to land a strike, like a kick into a punch, was spectacular. And then the awareness to be defensively sound the whole time, the amount of kicks that were checked and blocked, the fact that they were still trying to body kick and weren't just hunting for punches and elbows. They were both still trying to play the game of Muay Thai. They were still going by that proper stadium criteria, whilst adding in the razzle-dazzle of trying to land a 4oz gloves on a man's head. Tawanchai didn't remove his left hand from his head the whole fight. Every time he left kick, Superbon would reply with the right hand. He would try and counter him straight away with the right punch. And Tawanchai's hand was always there. He was taking most of those blows on the forearm, and again, just looking after himself. They were always aware of each other's counters. Both similar stylists, even though it was a southpaw versus orthodox matchup. They were both femur style fighters, both considered the more beautiful and skillful style, and that was on display. And I really enjoyed watching it in 4oz gloves. I like that extra element of danger. They had to really respect each other's hands. I was kind of worried for Superbon that his chin might not hold up to the power of Tawanchai, and this was his first fight in the 4oz. He hasn't fought Muay Thai for ages, so in a breakdown I'd done, that was kind of my main reservation and why I was picking the Tawanchai win. But to be honest, Superbon exceeded my expectations. I thought he looked fantastic. I'd like to see him compete in Muay Thai more. Like watching this fight, he's better at Muay Thai than he is at kickboxing, and he's a fantastic kickboxer. Just go look at any of his performances. His knockout over Giorgio Petrosian, his knockout over Typhon Ozcan, to see he is a danger in both rule sets. But Tawanchai picked up the win. I feel like he did do enough. That last round, he just took the edge. He was quite good at finishing the round strong. So even though he might have struggled in the early going of each round, he maybe struggled to find his groove a little bit. He would find his rhythm, and he was very clever. Like some of his setups and feints are just, they're so fast. You have to watch it on slow motion to appreciate it. He was doing feints into elbows. He was doing hip feints into lead hands. It was brilliant. Really good stuff to watch. So the Seksan vs Daz fight was simply crazy. I don't know how Seksan competes so frequently with the way he fights. It's almost unhuman. I was also disappointed in the decision of this contest, as I felt Daz should have been given the nod, and he definitely should have been awarded the knockdown. If you're going to award a Superlek the knockdown against Rodtang, this one definitely should have been scored, and it would have almost certainly secured Daz the win. That's the thing with ONE, sometimes you feel like there's a little inconsistency with the judging and the decision making. Now Seksan fights everyone as if they've stolen something from him, like it's a personal grudge. And with the 4oz gloves, it becomes a wild affair. He's now riding an 8-fight win streak, but I really can't see him fighting for the title. He's just an old dog. He's had so many wars now. They seem to be matching him against these foreigners that are coming into the promotion, like on their debut or second fight. Guys that might eventually fight for the title, but I just don't feel like Seksan is on that trajectory to become a ONE championship champion, and I don't even think they're trying to market him in that way. I think he's just getting paid, and hopefully getting paid very well for the amount of damage he's receiving in these crazy contests. After Seksan came Nico Carrillo knocking out Nong-O. This is a fight I've already done a video on, so feel free to check that out. So Nong-O pretty much hobbled Carrillo. Carrillo refused to go away, and he hopped his way into the pocket until he was able to land an elbow which shut down the legendary Thai. Honestly, it made me quite sad to see the Nong-O, a former champion who literally seemed unbeatable just 2 fights ago, get bodied for the second time in a row. But this is the game. I'd like to see Nong-O return to former glory, but at 38 years of age, it's not looking likely, and I'd hate to see him switched off again anytime soon. This is another skull put atop of the Yodri Chatri shrine of fallen Muay Thai legends. So there were a few other fights on the card. Another one to quickly skim over was Muay Thai versus Nabil Anain. This was a weird one, with Muay Thai being a forward pressure elbow fighter against Anain, who was like 7 foot tall. I don't even know what weight he was, and I think Muay Thai dropped down a weight. Muay Thai has lost to a few fighters recently. He's lost to Carrillo by a knockout. He'd lost to Harrison by TKO. Actually, TKO in both fights. He'd been knocked down 3 times. He's won a few fights between then, but it feels like ONE Championship don't like him in this matchup, because he's down a weight class and he fights a guy that couldn't be any bigger, and he loses a decision. When you're a knee and elbow fighter, you need attributes. Like being a small elbow fighter doesn't really make sense. So to fight someone that is a full foot taller than you just seems nonsensical. But either way, he made a good fight out of it, and I was entertained. Nabil Anain went away with the victory. A decision, one of the rare decisions in a ONE Championship Friday night fights. And the last fight I'm going to go over is the Kulabdam versus Aminipour. I'd never heard of Aminipour. I think he was from Tiger Muay Thai. He was announced as an undefeated fighter. Only 15 fights though, so he's 15-0. But he fought like a white collar boxer. It was absolutely mental. It's like he got the 4oz gloves on, had bloodlust, was looking to do everything it took to knock Kulabdam out, who just weathered the storm and banged him out. I was glad of it. I was just like, fuck you, Aminipour. He was like lowering his level to the crowd, just banging for blood. You know, he just wanted that thumbs up from Caesar and a bonus. And you got to fight with skill, man. Going out there and fighting like that, it's just not the ONE Championship. But even Kulabdam at times, he got the knockdown, and it was like, oh, thank God, he got the knockdown. I think it was a short right hand after he was shelling up. Aminipour was like opening up, leaving himself there to be countered. And then after that, Kulabdam was hunting for the knockout. It's like getting clipped, and I was like, no, don't do that. Don't give it away now. Just fight like a Thai that's had fights, it's like a former stadium champion. The knockout, it will present itself. This guy's an idiot. He's fighting like an idiot. Just please, just slow down. But you know, I'm sure Aminipour is a decent fighter, but whether it was the occasion that got to him, I don't know. Whether it's just the fact that he's in those little gloves and he just wants a bonus. Don't fight like that. It's just very irresponsible. Had he won by knockout, it kind of justifies that style of fighting, but that's a lottery ticket style of fighting. You're entering the raffle every time. It's such a 50-50 way. It's a coin toss. When you're not using skills and you're just going in there with reckless abandon, of course there's a good chance you can get a knockout, but really, do we want to fight like that? One championship, when they announce a fighter, they always give the win ratio, and you're looking for the high percentages possible. You don't want to have a 50% win ratio. And when you look at the elite fighters, like Giorgio Petrosian has probably got like a 97% win ratio, like 100 wins, only 3 losses. Aim to be that guy, and Giorgio Petrosian doesn't come out swinging windy hammers, and he's still been knocked out. So give yourself more of a chance, mate, especially when you're fighting someone like Kulabdam. I get you trying to get him out of there early, but just putting your chin up in the air on a platter is not the way to do it. Fight more responsibly. Yeah. That's enough about that one. So I'm enjoying these one fights. I might do more videos like this. If you enjoy it, let me know. If you find my opinion annoying and boring, let me know. Also, dislike it maybe. Sink it in the YouTube algorithms. I'm sure this will get next to no views anyway. Thank you for watching and listening. Pro Striking out. I'll catch you later.